The other day I was talking to a client of mine and she said, I feel drained just by thinking about my research. And this is quite an interesting claim because I would say that I felt that way around 80% of my PhD. I felt absolutely drained by my research. And no matter how much I was working, no matter the success, the publications, whatever, I just felt that it was so exhausting all the time. And when we started digging a little bit deeper in that conversation with her, and I started reminding myself, like, what was the source of that feeling of exhaustion? And we really started talking a little bit about that, of like, what is exhausting? Is the workload exhausting? Is the analysis exhausting? Are the experiments exhausting? And what she actually reached the conclusion, and we sort of came up with the conclusion that the most exhausting part of research is this not knowing what to do next. That's the most exhausting part, because once you know what to do, it's much less exhausting doing it than actually thinking about what needs to be done. And another thing that is even more exhausting, when you know what needs to be done and then not doing it. For example, you know that you need to brainstorm a little bit that idea of how to perform that experiment, how to build up that model, how to do stuff. And you know that it's something that you should be doing, but you know that it's going to be such a draining process. So it becomes even more draining when you are avoiding it. So it kind of snowballs into something super, super big. So when we are talking about the exhausting part of research, I would say that for the vast majority of us, the exhausting thing is thinking about what needs to be done. Thinking about what to write is way more exhausting than writing itself. Thinking about how to perform an experiment is way more exhausting than actually performing the experiment. Thinking about what the model should look like is way more exhausting than actually coding the model. So what is the point of this video? What is something that I want to say? The thing that I want to say is that the exhausting part is finding structure in the thing. This is the most exhausting part. But the good news is that you have control over that. So if you feel that it's exhausting, your research is exhausting, chances are that your research is exhausting because it's a mess, because you don't know which direction you're going, because you don't know what's your next step, because you don't know how to put it together so that it makes sense, that it's something coherent, cohesive, something that might resemble a thesis someday, something that might resemble a complete conference talk someday, something that might resemble, I don't know, a completed paper someday, and so on. So that's the exhausting part. And now what can we do about it? So now that we found out that it's not research in general, the exhausting thing, now we can take action upon it, right? Now that we know that this chaos and mess, it's something that is giving us this sense of really inadequacy and not feeling comfortable doing research and not feeling happy while doing it, now we can address it. Now we know that the important thing is to bring structure to your result, to actually take time to sit down and brainstorm what is your next step. Take a look back at your previous result and your previous things that you already have done and finished and say, okay, how can I put it together and make it fit a clear research story that I can write about, that I can publish, that I can share with people, and so on. So this thing exactly is what I help PhD students with. So I coach PhD students on how to build a research story, how to take this messy data, messy results, and actually put it into something coherent, decide what is important, what isn't. Make sure that you know what is your next step when it comes to your research, your PhD, your thesis writing process, and so on. So if this is where you're at right now with your research, if you objectively feel drained by your research, chances are that you're not drained by your research, you are drained by the chaos around your research. And if you want to make sort of some help getting some order in that chaos and some structure in the chaos, I want to invite you to schedule a completely free intro coaching call with me. I will leave a link down below in the description when you can schedule it. And in that intro call, we discuss exactly where you're at with your research, exactly what are the next steps that you should take in order to reach that bigger goal, whether it is a paper, a thesis, a publication, whatever it is that you're working on. And of course, see if we are a good fit to work together. So having said that, I hope that you found this video useful, and as always, see you in the next few days with another video. Bye bye.